everyone, today I've got your Batman and Robin movie review. I know, I can't even believe that I'm talking about this movie because it is just so darn bad. But I would like to say that there were some good parts to it, so let's get started. So this movie came out in 1997 and it stars George Clooney as Bruce Wayne Batman, and he has this new nemesis, and this happens in the beginning of the movie where we find out that Arnold Schwarzenegger is playing Mr. Freeze, and he is in love with all these diamonds. He just needs all these diamonds to survive, and he has this suit that uses the diamonds, which is really crazy because it just doesn't seem like, I mean, it's an interesting way to have his character, even though I don't think he was anything like this in the comics, which is ridiculous. So Joel Schumacher decided to direct this movie after he directed Batman Forever, and he wanted to make this movie more into a toy commercial, and that is basically how campy this movie has gotten. I remember watching this movie back in the day when I was just like a scrawny little kid, and for some reason, I love this movie, and I hate to say it because nowadays everybody just finds it so corny, and I'm starting to see why it is so corny, and I just absolutely hate this movie now, and I actually own it. I still have it on VHS, so it's kind of crazy, but I liked it back in the day, and now it's just really weird. Batman, and now he has this new partner, Robin, who is played by Chris O'Donnell, who I don't even know if he's as good of a Robin, but I mean, he's the best that we have so far, so I don't know. But so Batman and Robin are trying to work together to fight this guy, Mr. Freeze, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they're trying to catch him so that he doesn't escape with all these diamonds. But then he ends up going in a rocket ship, and then after he leaves this museum, and then of course the one thing that is always on everybody's mind that just won't go away are the ridiculous Mr. Freeze puns, like, what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. And then he uses his like freezing gun, which is probably one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. But I mean, if it were turned into a realistic type movie, like the movies that we have now, it would probably be something along the lines of like liquid nitrogen or something. So that's just how much campy, like comparing to the, like, if you wanted to make this movie realistic, in which it is not at all, is ridiculous. And I'm sorry I keep saying that, but it's true. He tries to get away, and they're following Mr. Freeze in his rocket ship, and then a whole bunch of stuff goes down, and they're like, the special effects shots, of course, back in the day, they weren't as good as they are now, so you just see like them falling out of the sky, and they're like surfing in the sky. It's like, and then Robin says something like cowabunga, like, what the heck? Like, I hate some of the lines in this movie. Actually, I hate most of the lines in this movie. So then he gets his ass whooped, and then Batman and Robin, they sort of have this kind of shady relationship where they want to be partners, but it's really hard to work together, so they just have to, they just have to deal with it, because, they have to take out this guy. But there are other things that, come in their way. There's Bruce, who has this love interest with former model Elle Macpherson. Then this girl comes to Wayne Manor, who's played by Alicia Silverstone, and she is Barbara Wilson, even though she technically should be Barbara Gordon, but there is no relationship between her and Commissioner Gordon because she plays Batgirl in the movie later on, and so she's Alfred's niece. I was like, that's kind of a weird plot hole, so I don't know why they did it that way, but oh well. It's kind of sad, which is why I like the animated series better. Another character who turns out to be a villain is none other than Poison Ivy, played by Uma Thurman, who I mean, I'd have to admit that she actually played a pretty decent, like, she was actually pretty convincing as Poison Ivy. I think she definitely had the look, she definitely had that sort of, like, sex appeal, and she had the sort of, like, viciousness and just being all out, like, mean and nasty, and just using her green thumb. So, she definitely had the look and the evil, sort of personality, but I just still, like, think if they were to make her character a little bit better, I think, you know, she would have made an even better, Poison Ivy, if she was kind of made, like, I mean, because I just can't get enough of this whole campiness of the character, because I know that, like, they could have actually had some really true potential with these villains. So that was one of the bummers about this movie. But there's one more villain that I still haven't talked about, and that is Bane. I know that, you know, Dark Knight Rises is coming out, and we're going to see a lot of comparisons between the two, but this one, he is played by this, one of the late wrestler, Jeep Swenson, and all he did was say, Bane, or bomb, and then he would just, like, say it in this, like, really weird voice, and it was ridiculous, and he was green, and he was, like, way too big. He was, like, bulging, and it was, I mean, I know that's what people would see in Bane, so, I mean, he was just bad. I just don't even like it at all. Like, I like the other, like, reincarnations of Bane, like, in the animated series, or, like, the video games, so this one was just downright bad. I didn't like it at all. He was just, like, some stupid lackey for Poison Ivy, and that was it, and then, like, oh, it's ridiculous. Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, and Bane, they're all coming together, forming this little posse, and they are all working together to take down Batman and Robin, and they all have their different hideouts and whatnot, and I just, yeah, it was crazy. The main thing that was going on in this movie was that Mr. Freeze basically had a plot to destroy Gotham, and he wanted to take over, just, like, you know, hold Gotham ransom, and just, like, freeze the city with his giant, like, freezing ray gun thing, and yeah, he went out, like, you know, he took over the world, but he's still, like, he was just bad with those puns. I mean, and I don't blame the actors. I'll just say that, like, this movie was funny back in the day, but I really honestly don't blame the actors for the terrible script, because that was not their fault, but they should have known what they were getting themselves into. I kind of feel bad for them. So, then they, or Batman and Robin, and now Batgirl are all coming together to try to take out the bad guys, and they have their, you know, big toys, their cars and motorcycles and whatnot. So I thought, like, that was pretty cool. Also, the one thing that I did think set apart the campiness was Alfred's character, who was played by the late Michael Goff, and he, I think, was a really good character. I mean, he played all the Alfreds in even the Tim Burton Batman movies, so I thought his character, I think, was, like, one of the best ones, and there's some stuff that goes down with his character in this movie, and so I think that sort of brings, like, a softer side, more, like, emotional side of the movie, that it sets it apart from all the campiness and all the, like, ridiculous puns and all that. So that's the one thing that I mostly enjoyed about this movie. But the one thing I did not enjoy, and this is the number one thing, and it is the bat nipples. And it was ridiculous that they put them on the suit, and it just, like, seriously, it added no purpose. Even in the beginning of the movie, they were showing their butts. Like, not their actual butts, like, but their suit butts. It was ridiculous. Like, really? Like, did we need to see that? I don't think so. I mean, like, I don't even think when I was a kid I didn't even find that funny either. I was just, like, totally blindsided by that. But so, that's what happened. Overall, hated this movie. There are some parts that I liked, some parts I didn't like, and yeah, so I can't even recommend seeing this movie, but you should, just to see how ridiculous it is. That's all I'm going to say. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of Batman and Robin, and if you think it is still the most ridiculous Batman movie ever. I think that's technically a given. And yeah, so I hope you guys are excited to see The Dark Knight Rises. I will post a review tomorrow for the movie, so definitely look out for that as well. You guys can also subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates. Come back every week for a Chill Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you guys later.